Just a reminder to silence your cell phones as we get our press conference underway. Flash photography and video of any kind of the press conference is prohibited. If you have a question, please raise your hand and wait to be called on. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question. If you're joining us on Zoom, use the raise hand function for questions, and we will address those at the end if time allows. The locker room will be open for 30 minutes once the student athletes sit down.
I'm okay. No, thank you.
All right, at this time, we are joined by Syracuse University student athletes Sophie Burrows and Journey Thompson. We will now take questions for the student athletes. Please wait for the microphone and state your name and media affiliation before your question. We'll go to Roger, front right first.
Roger Cleveland from Hearst Media. Sophie, what do you remember about your last time you played here in the NCAA tournament, and how much did that performance give you confidence coming in here this year with how well you guys played then?
I definitely remember just like the atmosphere. I'd never played on with that big a crowd or anything like that, so that definitely stood out to me. But I mean, I think I just kind of came into that game knowing I had to play my role, and I think that kind of understanding brought me into the next season and this season, obviously, just being able to play my role, whatever that is. So that's definitely my goal coming into this game. At the end of the day, it's another basketball game, and having that understanding to just go in and play our game and play Syracuse women's basketball. We have the confidence. Doesn't matter what anyone else is thinking. We have the confidence in the locker room that we need to go in and play our game. So, yeah, I think that's just kind of the energy going into the game right now.
Can you just talk about hitting 6 threes in that game, though? I mean, you kind of glossed over that like it didn't happen, and it was a huge, huge part of why you guys were so competitive.
Yeah, I mean, I think having Deasia Fair on the court, she drew so much defensive pressure that those threes were wide open a lot of the time because she drew all the players. So I think a lot of that kind of credit goes to her. But, I just that was my role going into that game: shoot wide open three, shoot my shot, and I mean that's what I did. So I guess yeah.
Okay, we'll go back left and then front left.
Josh Richardson, WJPZ. Sophie, we saw in practice on Friday and then yesterday during the game, you had your left thumb kind of wrapped on your forehand. Just kind of, what has that been like? Talk me through that. And then what has the adjustment been trying to, shoot with that on and trying to grip the ball and everything during game time?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty chunky wrap, so it does get in the way a little bit, but, grabbing rebounds and stuff can be a little bit tough. I think a few times in the Iowa State game, I tried to take a left-handed layup, which probably wasn't my best move, but I've had it on for a few weeks now, so I'm getting used to it shooting a little bit now. So, yeah, it's a little annoying, but you can play through it.
Okay, we'll go front left.
Harris Pemberton with the Daily Orange. Sophie, going back to that first game you had against UConn, just what are kind of some of the similarities and the differences you see between that program from a few years ago to the team they are now?
Yeah, I mean, I think they have a lot of returning players, so kind of that core group is still stuck together. And, I mean, they have an amazing coaching staff that has kind of, they're a very disciplined team. They run their sets really well. I don't think any of that has changed. But I think our team has changed a lot, so the way we address the game and kind of come into the game will be quite different. But at the end of the day, as I said, it's just another basketball game, so we won't be changing too much.
Okay, we'll go here in the green and then back to the left.
Jordan Kimball, Daily Orange. For either of you guys, I spoke with Layla yesterday, and she mentioned you guys kind of feel like you have nothing to lose versus UConn, a team that's in the spotlight. They're undefeated. How do you think that mindset can give you an advantage tomorrow?
Go ahead. I mean, obviously UConn is an amazing program. They have a lot of history of winning and playing good basketball, but I mean, no one really expects us to do a whole lot in this game except the people in the locker room, and I think that's all that matters. We have that confidence within one another to come out and play Syracuse women's basketball, and I think at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It doesn't really matter what anyone outside that locker room is saying. It's what we believe on the inside the locker room, and I think we have that confidence to come in and play well.
All right, we'll go back to the left here.
Sure.
Sam Reese, WJPZ. I'll ask you a question, Journey. After being, on such a high after winning that game yesterday, what's the preparation process like to quickly shift your focus to playing the number one team in the country and having one day to get ready for that?
Well, we don't linger too long on losses or wins, in college basketball, we don't really have time to do that. So I think, we came in with film. We knew what kind of game we're going to play. They're just another team, obviously the number one team in the country. But, we're going to play our game and go out there and, show them what Syracuse women's basketball is.
Okay, we'll go right here.
Milo Hoffman, Citrus TV. Sophie and Journey, for either one of you guys, I know you just said you don't like to linger on past games, but what do you think you did so well against Iowa State that you can take into your game against UConn?
I think we played a really good team game. I think that's one of the best things about our team is anyone can go off at any time. I mean, Olivia Schmidt came in and hit those 5 threes that really gave us that lead. Uche was consistent throughout the whole game. Same with Layla. Journey came in and gave us 13 rebounds. That's the kind of play that we have. We have 15 deep. So that's the kind of basketball that we want to play. And I think if we're able to bring that into the next game, then I think we're going to put in, a really good game.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Yep, we'll go back left and then.
Yeah, Sophie, question for you. On a personal note, in a game like yesterday where, first half shots not falling for you, is that a mental thing where what do you do to keep pushing, to trust yourself, to ultimately make 2 big threes and some clutch free throws down the stretch?
That trust definitely comes from my teammates and my coaches, that confidence from them never wavers. And, I mean, me and Journey kind of got into it in the middle of the game because I'm always the one telling her to keep shooting, but, she really returned that favor. And she could see that my confidence was dropping, so she came and she was like, keep shooting. I don't care what happens. You're the best shooter. Keep shooting, that kind of thing. And that confidence from my teammates really is what helps me in those moments, for sure.
Okay, we'll go front left here.
You guys both mentioned you watched film over the past day, and I'm sure you've seen UConn play a lot this year. Just what is it that they do that's so effective in, being the #1 team in the country?
They're just a very disciplined team. They have a structure and they really stick to it, and they find the open shots, and they keep playing. It doesn't matter whether it's the first shot kind of in the possession or whether it's 3 seconds to go. They always they find the right shot and they wait till the defense falls asleep, and then that's when they make you pay. So I think we just need to match that and play disciplined defense for 30 seconds, and then offensively transition and find the lapses in their defense.
Okay, we'll go to Roger in the front right.
Journey, can you just talk about Sophie's importance to the team? Your best three-point shooter, second in assists, second in steals, second in rebounding. What does she mean to you guys?
I think Sophie's definitely one of the core, if not the core factors on our team. And I think it's easy to look at the statistical stuff, like you mentioned, the points and whatnot, but it really comes down to even the little stuff. Defensively, she knows our system better than anyone else on the court. She knows where everyone's supposed to be during the play, so a lot of times in games you'll see her pointing, telling us where to go, repeating stuff, because I can't hear anything on the court, and so she's got to tell me what we're running and that kind of stuff. Just keeping us steady, I think, is a really big thing that she does. Being a leader. I mean, I think that everyone knows that if anything happens, we can lean on Sophie. So I think it's just it's hard to kind of put into words how important she is to the team.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right. Thank you guys for your time. Good luck tomorrow.
seeing you.
Good seeing you, too. All right, at this time, we are joined by Syracuse University head coach Felisha Legette-Jack. We will begin with an opening statement from Coach and then open it up for questions.
I gave a directive to my manager. She said she's good at kidnapping people. And so I asked her to kidnap Geno and Sarah. And I looked at her and I said, did you follow through with the directive I gave you? And she said no. So they're going to be there, and so it's a tougher time. What a fun time it is, right? What a fun time to be a part of something that's exciting, postseason. We always ask for 4 seasons, and most times you get 3, right? Last year we only got 3. It was a very tough year, and, we put our head down, we tend to the sheep, and we got some really good pieces to our program, and we still, we have a way of still believing that this crazy lady don't know how to recruit. And we were selected, I think, 13th in the ACC, and not sure what they're going to do. And I love that. I love the underdog mentality. I love the way our teams come together. I love my prayers to my God. And I am so celebrated every time I wake up in the morning to be able to be a part of something that is so enjoyable. It's called basketball. And what I hope that you see in our team moving forward on Monday is celebration of freedom to become something so exciting through this game. And that's what I think brings us to a gifted season like this and a gifted season a couple years ago and gifted players like a Stephanie Reed and that played for me at Buffalo and Sierra Dillards and Deasia Fear to be the 3rd leading scorer in the history of the program. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about our team. The only thing that happens that's different for our people is that we come together, we lock in like a family, and we just say, you know what? It's just us against the world. And that's what it's going to feel like probably on Monday. And there's going to be winning, and it's going to be learning, but it's never going to be a defeat because one thing we don't believe in, that no score is going to justify the work we put in for this season, and no score is going to tell us what our story is going to be for our tomorrows.
All right, we will now take questions for Coach. Please wait for the microphone and state your name and media affiliation before your question. We'll go front left here.
Hey, Coach Jack, how are you?
Oh, fantastic.
I was wondering, you said about Uche that she has the capability to be the next Paige Beckers, the next Hannah Hidalgo. She's got that star power. When did you know that for the first time? And then also having her do what she did yesterday against Audi and in her NCAA debut and getting you to that next game. How much did that even underscore what you already thought of her talent?
Asia Wilson's more like her than the other 2 little guards. But we played against Asia Wilson when she was at South Carolina, and the gift that she brought to the sport, a power forward that runs the floor, that can bring the ball up, that can shoot the 3 ball if she needs to, but she's so great at the 18-foot shot, turnaround jump shot. And that's the film that we showed her that we think that she can emulate at the next level. What made me think that is just, I remember Dawn and Asia's relationship and the communication that they carried and how Asia was such an incredible human being to everybody. She was bigger than life, right? And then she played the game at another level, and then you got to play against her, and you're like, crap, I like her too much, That's Uche. Uche is a bigger than life person. Her story is a little bit more pronounced than someone from America, came from Nigeria, lived in Japan for 7 years, and has been here for a year now. Haven't seen her mom in 8 years, and she's still smiling and loving life. And the first person to say, "Good morning, Coach Jack," and it's this high-pitched voice of let's get ready to love this day. And that's what makes her so special. And that makes her different than a lot of people. And the only person I can think of that can be considered to be like her is her. I just think that her gift of being able to run the floor, dance with anybody, will face a challenge and never see the person as, oh, I'm just afraid of her. She doesn't even know that. She's just like, let's just go learn how I can become better. And let's write down notes on what we need to do to get better the next time we play somebody like her. And so I've never had a kid like this. This is like, when I had the age of fear, I never had a kid that's 5'4", that's bigger than anybody on the court. And then I get an Uche, and now God just keeps blessing me with amazing people. And I'm just the one that he chose to witness this kind of blessing. Thank you.
We'll go to Roger on the right and then Emily.
Roger Cleveland from Hearst Media. Coach, how much has Sophie Burrows matured her game and everything since she was that kid who came in here and made 6 threes 2 years ago?
Well, we hope she's that same kid that can go for 8 or 18 threes. But she is a kid that waited her turn. She understood the assignments. You come in and play with a Georgia Woolley and a Deasia Fear and Elena Rice. You have to kind of wait your turn. And if that time comes where your light have to shine, give me the ball and I'll let you see what I can do as well. Now she understands that everyone's looking at her, everyone on her team, all of her coaches. What do you think? How do you feel? What's our situation? We ask her opinion all the time, even through her struggles, and it was really neat that yesterday she missed I think she shot 2 or 3 air balls in the first half, and you can see her eyes about to drop, and one of her roommates came up to her and said, most people come up with the, hang in there, you got this, we love you, waiting for the gift, or her roommate came and said, don't be a hypocrite. Like, what do you mean? Don't not shoot the shot, and excuse the double negative, but that's what you are here to do. And now our teammates are pouring into her, and so the difference between their first year to now, she's led us to this point, and she got to a point where she was about to surrender to the bad play, and her teammates just filled her up really quickly, and she became what we needed her to be for the third and fourth quarter.
Hey, Coach. Emily Adams from the Hartford Courant. Geno mentioned the other day that he recruited you coming out of high school. You obviously played against him as a player at Syracuse, so just curious what you remember about him in the recruiting process, playing against him as a player, and what's it like for you now to kind of be on the other side of things as a coach?
Well, I remember everything. I remember how my high school coach just thought he was the most handsome guy that she's ever saw in her life. They said, you have to be recruited by Virginia. I'm like, yeah, no, the coach here, she's amazing. No, her assistant is involved with this, right? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And she said, oh, he's so cute. And so he was the guy that came and met with Miss Spees, my high school coach, and we said yes to go visit Virginia, and Debbie Ryan was the head coach. I don't think I've seen her one time during the whole visit. It was Geno taking me around, and it just didn't feel right to leave and go to that color orange, and I got Syracuse right in my backyard. So I decided to stay home, and that same year was kind of a blessing because he ended up taking a job here. So that's how long we've known each other, and they were really, really good at the beginning. But Syracuse used to beat them all the time for the first couple of years, and they ended up getting this kid in his third year, and the rest is history. They went to a Final Four and never stopped going to the Final Four. And one thing I love about Geno, he's a loyal human being. Once he lock in to believing in you and what you bring, you can mess up a couple of times and he'll still forgive you because his loyalty is real. And I think that I fit the category where he thinks that I'm a pretty cool person where he can help me, and he will.
All right, we'll go back center, and then we'll go to Maggie.
Hi, Coach. Jack Mariosacco, News Channel 9 Sports. How important is it to throw that first punch tomorrow and try and weather the waves that UConn throws at you?
You know what? We don't know what they're going to throw at us, but we're willing to throw a first punch for sure because it's our story, right? And it's not personal. It's not us being in attack mode against UConn or the next game. It's about our young people are playing for something bigger than basketball. We're playing for the mirror. We're playing for our faith. We're playing for our families, and we're playing for ourselves. And we won't back down to anybody, not because we're this tough, broody team. It's because our story matters to us more than anything else in this world. And so we understand what we're facing. Let's not pretend that the big elephant isn't in the room. The best team in college basketball right now, who hasn't lost a game, who has held people to 40 points, And if you look at all that, and then you go in the gym that they play in for the third time in, 4 or 5 years since I've gotten that, I accepted into this NCAA tournament. We won't bring that up. You see all the accolades that they face. But, I think God told them in that meeting that we're the people for the assignment. And we're going to give our best effort. And we're not going to be afraid. And we're going to learn lessons. And we're going to face some difficulties. But what you're going to find is that Syracuse women's basketball, we stand true to what we talk about all the time. We believe that we're going to give our best effort from the beginning to the end, and we'll see it through.
We'll go to Maggie and then front right.
Maggie, Benoni, CT Insider. Not to bring it up, but you guys were here 2 years ago, as you know.
Here you go. I knew Maggie was going to say it. I love it.
Obviously, KK and Ash were freshman starters then for UConn. Now they're junior starters. How have you noticed their growth these past 2 years? Last year they were both coming off the bench, whereas this year now they're back in the starting lineup.
I tell you, who's ever on that team, which is every single person on that team, is amazing. They're all got accolades that's longer than all my players put together. And it doesn't take a little coach like me to say how gifted they are. I think that the improvement is ridiculous. I think they lost 1 or 2 games last year, and no one has even come close to beating them this year. That's the pace of the game they play. That's the credit to the Hall of Fame coach that they have and the Hall of Fame staff. Let's keep that understanding. Their staff is incredible. They can still probably play and beat a college team right now, the staff. Chris, she'd have to be the coach. But I think that that's a tough question because that's not a fair question because I don't think that I'm prepared to say how gifted a team that hasn't lost yet and their individual players are because it takes a team, and I know Geno says the same thing. I just think they're special altogether. And what you take them out of that category and put them somewhere else, maybe they wouldn't be so special. But because they're at UConn, they are incredible, all of them.
Okay, we'll go front right, and then we'll go left.
Connor Pignatello, Syracuse.com. Looking back on the film from yesterday, what were some things that you picked up on that you thought you could possibly improve on?
I think Liv Schimmer can shoot it. She shoots it well in practice, and now she's shooting it well in the game. And I think that the celebration that we have for each other when we do something great is not something that's staged. These 15 players love each other. Dom hasn't played a minute. She had surgery on Wednesday. She was the biggest impact to the team because when it got tight in the second half, it was her voice that was in the huddle prior to the coaches coming there. I just think it's going to take our family versus any team any day, and I just love what Uche does. Uche doesn't even understand what she's dealing with right now. I think by the summer she's going to look back and say, oh, my God, what was the hell about? She just want to play. She just want to, you say, stay at the high post, stay at the high post. You go down low, I'll go down low, bring the ball up, okay. I mean, she's just an easy person to coach. And, we put Maddie out there to start the game off, and I thought she did a pretty good job, but we took her out. But when we put her in that slot to play at 2, I thought you saw more gifts from her. I saw the leadership from Layla and Sophie as captains out there just emerge to another level. It's just those type of things, not a play, not a shot. It's just the oneness that we've had and we've created from the beginning.
Hey, Coach, Sam Reese with WJPZ. Goes without saying that playing UConn at a neutral court is one thing, but playing them at Gampel, a whole nother level.
I'd like to finally play them on a neutral court.
Right,
please.
Exactly. Yeah, so that leads into my question because something noteworthy that Sophie said when asked about what she remembers from playing here 2 years ago was just the environment, something she hadn't ever experienced before. So considering the fact that the rest of your team has never experienced a packed Gampel Pavilion against UConn, is there anything that differs in terms of the preparation, getting them ready for that? Are you pumping in crowd noise to practice? Is there anything there?
No, I just think they got to find out and celebrate this. I'll tell you one thing. I will go to Alaska for this type of environment. What Geno and his staff has created is something every single coach and team should experience. This is what women's basketball, we want Syracuse to look like. We've grown our attendance about 300%. It's not even close to this. And I don't think Syracuse people really understand what I'm talking about when I say it's still not enough. It's still not enough. We need more. That community, I was there when they were averaging 35,000 fans, 30,000 fans. I know that you can come. I know that you're willing to come. But you see women, and you don't think that is good enough. Come and see this. I'm hoping they watch it on TV. Win, lose, or whatever, they see us go up against this, and they become more excited about, if you're interested in just winning, Syracuse, come on. Support us and be there through the foundation of the growth that we're going to have that's going to happen. But this is the most magical situation. Even yesterday's environment was like sensational. And this tomorrow, Monday, it's going to be another level because it's going to be filled and it's going to be about 3 million people watching it on television. It's what I prayed for when I decided that, yeah, Mom, I think I'm going to be a coach. And the laughter in my house was like, you better get a real job. And here I am 37 years later. So I'm excited and I'm so proud of this environment, Michigan State's environment, what Ole Miss is doing over there. And women's basketball is right now. And I said that, I think, 2 years ago. It's even more impactful as we celebrate what just transpired in the WNBA and the numbers, how they've changed. Not close to being enough, but it's showing that we're willing to see athletes and not just women.
Last question here in the front left.
Coach Jordan Kimball, Daily Orange. Just looking at UConn's lineup, I mean, you said you watched film, but specifically to Sarah Strong, who you haven't seen at the college level yet. What does she do that's so effective, and how can you kind of stop her tomorrow?
You can't stop her. She's good. We couldn't stop Crooks. I'm not a miracle worker. I just really not. I'm never going to say I'm that kind of a coach that can create something to stop, because no one stopped her in 33 games I think they played. I just want to be able to contain her a little bit, and I want to be able to contain those shooters a little bit. I want to throw different fun things out there defensively to see if indeed that sticks. And if it sticks, we'll stay with it. If it doesn't, we'll change it, and we'll make it fun, and we'll win some things. We're going to learn some things, and we're going to have this game become what it is, a basketball game. And we're going to continue to wear this necklace that I received from Uche on my birthday. It's a tree of life, right? It's a tree of life. And what does this mean is we're going to stick together. We're going to love on each other. And we're going to have at least tonight and tomorrow night to celebrate the fact that Syracuse women's basketball sustained all their players and all their coaches for the entire year. And to that, we give the glory to God. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, Coach. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
minutes, guys. Just a reminder here, as we get our press conference underway, just to silence your cell phones. If you have a question, just raise your hand. We'll try to get a microphone over to you. If you're on Zoom, please use the raise hand function, and we'll try to answer those questions at the end. All right. At this time, we are joined by University of Connecticut student athletes AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong. We will now take questions for the student athletes. Please wait for a microphone and state your name and media affiliation before your question. Questions. We'll go front left here first.
Jordan Kimball, Daily Orange. Sarah, I know you have a basketball background when it comes to your family. I was just wondering how much you kind of lean on that in the tournament and when you're facing a lot of pressure.
I would say I lean on them a lot. I mean, I don't think my parents. I don't know if my mom played in the NCAA tournament before. Maybe the one time, or yeah. But I mean, they're there for support. I mean, I talk to them about any game that I go into, how to get my mentality right, and just what I'm looking for. But it doesn't really change anything. I've always done that. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk there.
Questions for the student athletes?
Andrew Del Piano with WJPC. AZ, this will be your final game in Gampel. What can you say about the environment you've played in the last couple of years here?
Gampel has been home for the last 5 years, and the environment is second to none. The fans, the students, everything about this place it's the best place to play. I feel like even when you get to just experience one game here, you can see why it's called the basketball capital of the world. But I'm super excited, happy to have the students back on campus, happy to just be able to have one last game here with my teammates.
Okay, we'll go front left here and then back left.
Harris Pemberton with the Daily Orange. For both of you guys, just what's on the initial scouting report for Syracuse? They have a pretty talented freshman big. Just what do you think you need to do to slow her down and get a win tomorrow?
I would say just play team defense. It's not anyone going to be guarding her. We all have to be in each other's hopes and be ready to make up for each other's mistakes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a team defense kind of day. They have a lot of talented players, so to make sure we know our scout, the ins and outs, and their tendencies.
Milo Hoffman, Citrus TV. AZ, you're the best team in the nation, undefeated. What makes you guys so good? Like, what are the specific things that you guys do so well?
I think our defensive pressure. I think our chemistry on the court has gotten so much better throughout the year, and just how we can be on the same page, whether that's on offense, defense, knowing what the person next to us likes to do when they're going to cut, where they like the ball to shoot, where to be on rotations. I think just offensively we have so much talent and so much depth. I think those are some good keys.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right. Thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow. afternoon, Coach. All right, folks, just a reminder to please silence your cell phones as we get underway here. We're now joined by University of Connecticut head coach Geno Auriemma. We'll begin with an opening statement from Coach and then open it up for questions.
No, go ahead. You guys
All right.
fire away.
Questions for Coach. We'll go front here.
Thank you.
Vicky Fulkerson from the New London Day. Geno, last year Syracuse, didn't make the postseason, had 12 wins, and to go from that to this, how well they played this season, does it not surprise you that it's Felisha who got the team, back in where there used to be? Is it not surprising that it's her who created such a turnaround?
Yeah, of course. That the program's tradition years ago. I actually saw Barb Jacobs in the audience yesterday, and that tradition seemed to have gone. We played them in the championship game in 2016, I want to say. So, things can kind of go sideways pretty quickly, and I think Felisha came in and kind of started to get the thing back to where it was, and it's never a straight line uphill, going upwards, I should say. And she does an incredible job of identifying talent, she took a big chance on that freshman. Like, whoever thought she would be good? She's like the best player we've seen this year. So when you bring in a kid like that, good things happen,
We'll go back center.
When you watch, Mario Sacco, News Channel 9 in Syracuse. When you watch Syracuse, do you see kind of them playing that chip on their shoulder mentality that, leave it all out there when you see them play this year?
I think anybody that plays in the NCAA tournament certainly has some sort of motivation, whatever it is. I'm not privy to their inner workings. I don't know what chip would be on their shoulder other than, they maybe feel like they're not getting the recognition they deserve, or that last year they didn't get in, and they had to work pretty hard this year. I think every team plays. You hope that every team that's in the tournament plays with a sort of, we got something to prove, and they always, anytime I've been around them, and we played them, 2 years ago in this tournament, the incredibly competitive game, so I wouldn't expect there to be any different tomorrow.
Yep, we'll go left here, and then we'll go front left.
Coach Jack was up here a little bit earlier sharing the story about the time you guys recruited her when you were at Virginia. What do you remember about that first time meeting her, and then your relationship with her as it's gone on?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that yesterday, that I guess when you've been around a long time, but I do remember going up to Syracuse and Nottingham High School, and her coach, Coach Spiess, was really a delight to work with. And everybody knew Felisha was a really good player and was going to be a really good college player. So that's when I first had any contact with her. Then I got the job here in Connecticut, and we have to play against them, for a couple of years. And then we've stayed in touch. We've talked a lot. Been involved in talking to her about some of the jobs that she's been involved with, and I'm really proud of her. I think she. It's really good when a young coach gets an opportunity. She got an opportunity at Indiana, right? And it didn't pan out. And a lot of times when things like that happen, a lot of young coaches, they get buried and they never have an opportunity, and they kind of have to work their way up through mid-majors, and they never get another chance. And I'm incredibly thrilled that, that she had an opportunity to get back to that level, and she's made the most of it. She's an upbeat person. She's got a great personality, and when I talked to John Wildhack about hiring her, I said, well, you look at your men's coach, you need to bring in a coach that smiles once in a while, is happy-go-lucky, enjoys life, so you can balance out what's going on the men's side. I think that got her the job.
All right, we'll go left.
And a phone call to me from Bayonne.
Love that. Hey, Coach, this is Sam Reese with WJPZ in Syracuse. You referenced Uche Izoje being probably one of the best players you're going up against this season so far. What about her game makes her such a unique talent, and how do you game plan going up against someone like that?
Yeah, a unique talent, I would say. That's absolutely true. For a young player who's not so young, for a first-year player to be able to just have a command of her game. She knows exactly what shot she wants. She knows when she wants it and from where. And there's not a lot you can do to keep her from getting it, because she's longer than you are, and she can finish at the basket. She made 6 or 7 of those 15-footers, 16-footers yesterday. So yeah, I mean, she's a complete player, and it's a tough matchup for anybody, because I don't know that I've seen a player that we've played against anyway this year that has all those combinations that she has. So, and I think she's got a tremendous future ahead of her. I don't know when her birthday is, but mine's tomorrow, and I wish hers was tomorrow. She could get drafted and not play against us tomorrow night.
All right, we'll go front left here.
Harris Pemberton with the Daily Orange. Coach, as you mentioned, Syracuse.
Is there anybody left up in Syracuse?
Coach, as you mentioned, Syracuse came to this building and played you guys to a pretty close game 2 years ago. Obviously, the circumstances are quite a bit different this time around, but just what do you think you see from this Syracuse team that's different, and what about your team is different?
Well, from 2 years ago, yeah. I mean, obviously we're different. Obviously they're different. But things are still similar. Their length, they're able defensively to kind of force you out of some of your stuff. They play really well together. Hard when you come into the tournament, and you lose a guard that you've been counting on all year, so that's tough. And Felisha's, done a great job navigating that. Yeah, they're a little bit different than they were 2 years ago. We're a little bit different than we were 2 years ago, but our style of play is the same. Ours is not that much different. Theirs is not that much different. And I watched them yesterday, and when you see people on film, it's one thing, but when you see them up close, they're physical, they're aggressive, and yeah, that's not an easy one. Not an easy one tomorrow.
Okay, we'll go to Jim, and then in the middle here.
Jim Fuller, Associated Press. You lose Paige Beckers, but you had two, former number 1 pick recruits coming back. Just how have they adapted, and how being that on their shows every day, they've got to be the 2 top scorers, and how do they complement Easy and Sarah? How do they complement each other on the court?
Who are you referring to?
Easy Fudd and Sarah Strong.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the 2 of them, I mean, I don't know that you win the games that we won, that many games. It's like last year. I don't know that you win the national championship without 2 or 3 really, really good players, and then, a group of players that are okay playing their role every day, every night. For Sarah and AZ, yeah, they inherit, by virtue of their talent, they inherit that role of you have to be the go-to guys at UConn, and there's no shying away from it, and they've handled it pretty well, I think. They don't shy away from it, and they, it's hard to put yourself in their shoes, especially AZ, when you're a senior and everybody's looking at you, you've got to, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to, it's a very challenging, pressure-packed, spot to be in, and it takes somebody pretty unique to be able to handle those things, especially here at UConn, and I think she's handled it great. And going forward, all you can do is put yourself into positions, but it's not going to be, AZ and Sarah, they could both get 30 and nobody else does their job, and, we could lose. So I think it's the two of them are going to have to set a tone for us, but at the same time, like yesterday, we need more contributions from other players in order to get this done.
We'll go right here and then right behind him next.
Jake McCreven for the Daily Campus. Talked a little yesterday about Kaylee Heckel's unrelenting spirit, especially in the defensive end of the floor. Is that something that you've seen her develop throughout the course of the year, or has that always been in her and you've just been accentuated the last couple of weeks?
Well, I remember seeing that in high school when she played in high school, and we may have talked about this before, but she was kind of wild and out of control a lot in high school, and then she would have flashes of being like a really, 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 really solid, and I think those things start to wear off the more basketball you play, and I think she's in a really good place right now where she knows how to use her quickness, she knows how to use her speed, and when to be what we need you to be when. That comes with just playing, being in those situations, playing with really good players around you. I think when she was younger, she tried to do way more than she needed to, maybe because she had to, I don't know. But I think she's fit in great, and she's doing exactly what we brought her here for.
Away from tomorrow's game aside, this is the 6th time Syracuse has played here since 2017, all coming in the postseason. And Coach Jack joked about, we'd love to see you on a neutral floor. Do you think anytime down the road there will be a time maybe you play Syracuse on a neutral site or come to the Dome?
Well, I mean, we did come to the Dome a bunch of times when we were in the Big East, and then we wanted to come to the Dome when we had Stewie and they didn't want to play us. But, there are a lot more neutral games being set up, all over the country. And we play in, a bunch of them. So who knows? We might end up playing them somewhere, somehow. I saw somebody talk about neutral site games in these games, these first 2 games. Then I watch some men's games and the buildings are half full, but the tickets are all sold, supposedly. So if somebody could tell me, listen, next year we're going to play on neutral sites and all the tickets are sold ahead of time, then I would go, let's do it. But until then, so I think the players would rather play where there's a full house, Men's basketball is the only sport in college that doesn't fight all season for home court or home field advantage. It's crazy, right? But because they can. They've earned the right to do that. I don't know that anybody else is in that situation right now. No, I don't think there's another sport on campus that you could say, let's play on a neutral site. And it's even college football is going to home games in the playoffs. So financially, somebody's going to have to prove that it's doable. And then, I think we would all do it. We would all say, okay, let's do it. but it's got to be financially successful. Or the players got to take a pay cut. Good luck with that.
We have time for 2 more questions. We'll go right on the left here.
You've been waiting.
Yeah,
you're good.
Josh Richardson, WJPZ. Coach Jack obviously accredited a lot of the UConn success to you, and rightfully so, but she also really made note of the rest of your coaching staff. What can you talk about them and how much help and success they have been towards everything that you guys have accomplished both this year and in years past, especially with the tight turnaround just 2 days between your first round game and now this game?
Yeah, I like the fact that we've had, for the most part, over the entire time that I've been here, we've had a lot of stability in our coaching staff. We haven't necessarily had to deal with assistant coaches that come here a year or 2 years and then they're gone. Obviously Chris Daly's been here, long time, as long as I have. Jamel was here and then went on to be a head coach and came back. Tanya Cardoza was here, went on to be a head coach and came back. Morgan has coached at a lot of other places after here and became a head coach and came back. So I'm very fortunate that I have 3 coaches on my staff that were head coaches and understand what it is that we're doing, and it's probably a resource that very few other programs in America have. It's not a big secret how you get to be where we are, how you win. You have really good people that bring in really good players and really good people, and they're really good coaches, and they coach the hell out of these kids, and we win. And I'm sure all the teams that are playing in the tournament that keep advancing have similar stories.
All right, we'll go front left. Last question.
Coach Jordan Kimball, Daily Orange. I was just wondering what you think the biggest pieces of growth you've seen from Sarah Strong are from year 1 to year 2.
I would say more comfortable in her on the court and off the court, more assertive, not quite where I want her to be. There's a look that she has where when it's time, there's not as much of a hesitation as sometimes there was last year of deferring to Paige or older players. There's still some things that I think we need to obviously keep adding to that, but just her comfort level, there's no hesitation whatsoever. There used to be a little bit of, should I do this, should I not? That guy's, there's still a lot of that, but I just think there's a much more, I've got this mentality than last year just trying to fit in, Yeah, she's quite different. She's quite different. So, you guys got a new coach, huh? Yeah? Pretty cool, right? Everybody happy up there? Yeah? Good.
Just don't read Twitter.
What's that?
Just don't read social media, and then yes, everybody's happy.
Don't read social media? Well, all the people that are really happy don't go on social media. Right? That's for the dummies that are unhappy and want you to know that they're unhappy.
With that, thank you, Coach.
All
Good
right.
luck tomorrow.
Thank you.